For any business, large or small, not to have an e-commerce strategy is a big mistake. William M. Daly. I am truly so excited about today's episode. If you want to start a business or you already have a business, but don't quite know how to incorporate Amazon into your current industry or your current offering, this is one you don't want to miss. Find out the secrets from an Amazon insider. Welcome to the Stitch for Success podcast. I'm your host, Monica Allen. I'm a wife, mom, daughter, entrepreneur, author, friend, and lifelong learner. For over 8 years, I was trapped in corporate America and dreamed of escaping. I took the leap over 15 years ago, retiring from corporate. With just $700 and an idea, over the years we have grown multiple six-figure and seven-figure brands. I have mentored and employed dozens of other people along the way. The road has not been easy. I have battle wounds, bruises, and scars to prove it. And on this podcast, I share lessons learned from my failures and successes. You will also learn from other business owners who have become stitched for success as they pursue their entrepreneurial passions. My goal and hope for you is that you can learn from our mistakes and our wins and have an extremely successful business that stands the test of time. On this episode, I bring you an Amazon insider. She is the founder of E-commerce Boss Babes, a thriving community for female entrepreneurs. Laura Buhl is a former Amazon employee that previously supported and coached Europe's top 100 Amazon sellers. Laura is here to share with us insights about her business that has exploded this year, as well as some insider secrets to being successful on Amazon's platform. Now, guys, this episode is longer than I usually like to have my podcast episodes, but this is a good one. You don't want to miss it. You want to stick around. I just couldn't find a good place to even cut this in half. So Laura's here to share with us, and I know you will take away some great insights on how to best serve your business on Amazon. So let's take a listen to my interview with Laura. Laura, welcome to the Stitch for Success podcast.
Hello, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining me today. And so we're going to just jump right in. Tell us about your business background and what led to you launching E-commerce Boss Babes.
My background is really being an e-commerce consultant, and I used to work for Amazon directly. And there I did consult some of the bigger sellers. And this year when a pandemic happened, I'm always around in Facebook groups, and I've noticed that a lot of women specifically were asking a lot of questions regarding the e-commerce business. And I found myself helping and noticing like, man, there's like this group for female entrepreneurs missing that is going to support him with the e-commerce journey. And that's how I got started with e-commerce boss babes. So I decided to create this Facebook group and help women entrepreneurs build the e-commerce business.
Very good. So when these ladies are building their e-commerce business, are you focused mostly on Amazon, or are you looking at other platforms as well for them?
Mostly at Amazon. I do look at Shopify, Etsy, and other places too. But the reason I like to focus on Amazon a lot is most of those that are getting started do not have an audience yet. So if you're just opening an online shop without having an audience, you're going to heavily rely on ads. And if you're not an expert in how to do Facebook ads, how to do Instagram ads, it can be a quite risky journey. And a reason why I recommend people to get started with Amazon is like almost 50% of all e-commerce and online purchases are done through Amazon. So most of the sellers are going to have all the buyers already waiting there, sort of searching for products. And that's where the opportunity comes in, because if you know what people are searching for, you can offer that on the platform, and you already have customers that are willing to buy your product. And yeah, I mean, you enjoy a lot of the trust that Amazon has. The credit cards are already in there. So there's like a really high conversion rate, which is compared to the standard in the industry, like you have on a normal Shopify site, out of 100 people, maybe 2 people are going to buy your product. And that's like a very normal conversion rate, around 2%. On Amazon, however, a normal and low conversion rate would be 10%. That's really, really high. So out of 100 people looking at your product on Amazon, around 10 are going to buy it. If you then have been established for a while, you get a lot of reviews, you got really nice images, and you can even go to 20 or 30%. So that's a
Wow.
massive difference.
That's amazing. I mean, I never even really thought about it like that, but that's an absolute great conversion rate. So,
Mhm.
how do you recommend people go about getting started? Should they have their own product? Are they reselling other people's products? What are your recommendations for getting started on Amazon?
That's a very good question. I always like to go for the private labeling. So this is selling your own product under your own brand, but you don't necessarily need to invent a product. So you are going to collaborate with factories that already have existing products that people are looking for example, like makeup brush sets. So they're like a lot of different factories that already sell these sorts of products. And then you can contact them, customize the colors, the brand, and so on. And then you can be selling those under your company as your own. And that's like what I like to recommend, private labeling. Reason for that is because if you resell, you're competing with a lot of other sellers for the same product, and your margins are usually really, really low. So it's a lot of effort and work that you put in. And in the end of the day, you don't own the brand. You don't really own anything. And the distributor could change their mind anytime. The brand could change their mind anytime. Say, okay, now we only want to be selling alone on Amazon. No one else can sell it. And then you're there starting from square one. So that's why I like to build the own thing. And that is with your own brands.
That makes a lot of sense. So, do you help people find these private label companies, or what's your role in your business?
Usually, what I do when I did work with Amazon is I did support those sellers on that Amazon side, helping them rank, helping them go through all the issues that come up when you do have like a platform like that. What I'm doing with e-commerce boss babes though, it's I help them really from zero to launching. So if someone has no clue what to do, I guide them through like product research. How do you recognize if this is a product that's going to make sense or not? How do you go about sourcing it? How do you go about creating a brand, trademarking, and so on until to the point that you have it on Amazon and you're getting your sales.
Wow. So, literally from zero to
Yeah.
launch. It's
Yeah. And
fantastic. And then you support them after that as well.
exactly. Yeah.
That's
My course is
fantastic.
actually called Zero to Launch.
That's maybe where I read it, but that's really true. That's fantastic. So, in your opinion, should everyone be selling something on Amazon at this point? I know I've gotten a lot of Amazon boxes lately during this pandemic. Like Amazon comes to my door about 3, 4 times a week. So,
Same here. If you're in e-commerce and if you're not selling on Amazon, I believe that you are really missing out on a big chunk of business opportunity. For those of you that have maybe considered a business and are not sure what direction to go for, I 100% recommend getting started in e-commerce because there's no real specific skill required beforehand. And the learning curve, if you do have some sort of guidance, or if you'd like really go into it, it can be learned in a short time of like amount of time. You don't need to be studying this for years before you can get started. You can really get started in a matter of around 3 to 4 months. And yeah, especially at this time.
well, that's fantastic. And this is such a great. I'm so glad we're talking because I am in the process of helping my daughter launch a business. She's 10 years old, but she has this brand called Pastel Pineapple. And I never even thought about Amazon, but that is a fantastic idea. I've reserved like a Shopify website for her, but Amazon is perfect. I like
That's
that.
really cool. I love that you're doing that with your 10-year-old. Yay. What kind of products are these?
So well, we're looking at her doing kind of girl empowerment type of things, but specifically under her brand. She came up with Pastel Pineapple, and I just absolutely fell in love with the name. And
Mhm.
I thought, okay, we're going to create a logo and trademark it and do all that good stuff. So we've been working on that. But I'm so excited because I didn't think about Amazon, but this is a perfect place for her where she could almost do it herself. She's very creative anyway. So
Mhm.
it doesn't require so much back end like on the Shopify side. So thank you for that info.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Yeah. Especially she would be able to start her own research on her own as well, just looking around Amazon and
Yeah.
looking into like different niches and categories where she finds like this is going to really interest me and this is going to interest people that are going to be my ideal customer. So yeah.
So thank you so much for that insight. So tell me, Laura, what is one of the biggest mistakes you think e-commerce brands make though, as they're
Mhm.
going after their client customer?
The biggest mistake that I find is that there's no proper market research done before they go on the market. The owner likes their product and then they assume that everyone else is going to like it. They just launch it and then there's crickets. No one is buying it because they didn't really do the proper research. So that happens quite a lot, really. And I always recommend getting started with the product research and go for a market that exists, not wanting to be so unique that there's no market really, that there's no one asking for that product. You don't want to be the person that creates a market because that requires a lot of capital and you need to educate the market and tell them, okay, this is a great product because you need this because of this, this, and that. You want to have people already searching for what you are going to offer. And that's like a key component to really succeed in e-commerce.
Right. You want to solve a problem that people are clear that it exists and not try to explain to people, well, you really do have a problem. I promise you do, and I can fix it. That,
Yeah.
yeah.
Doesn't work. And the thing is, people are going to type something in when they're searching for a product to buy. So it needs to be something that people are going to be typing in. If people don't know how whatever you're going to sell is even called, or how they would describe it or search for it, that's a bit of a tricky part because you want people to be able to find your product. So instead of seeing Amazon just as a marketplace, you would want to see it as a search engine.
Hmm.
How can this be found, what I'm going to be offering, and how many people are actually searching for this?
So now is that information that you can find on Amazon? So let's say, for example, I want to sell makeup brushes. Is there a way for me to find out how many people are searching that on a daily or weekly basis? How does that work?
Yeah, there are tools that allow you to do that. So there's one really known one, it's called Helium 10. And just a few years ago, they released this new side of the tool where you could actually see the numbers of how many people are searching for a specific keyword every month. And this information is so incredibly valuable because just years before that, we had to guess a bit. We just had to calculate by the bestseller rank, looking at reviews, and then take like an average and then assume that this is going to work. Now we actually have information where we can see, cool, 10,000 people search for this specific keyword every month, and there are 100 offers. Out of the 100 offers, almost all of those are not really great. Here we see, we can add some value. This is a great product to go in because we always want to be able to add value to the market. If we
Right.
can't add value, there's no space for us. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and is this okay? So, is someone actually going onto Amazon and signing up for a specific like business account or like kind of educate us on that a little bit? I don't sell on Amazon, so I'm not familiar, but are they signing up for like a business account or what's the tool or how do they get started getting to this Helium 10 tool?
Okay, so Helium 10 is an external software by a company that's called Helium 10 that has created a software for Amazon sellers. If you want to be starting on Amazon and sell there, you can just go to the normal Amazon page and then go to the bottom. In the footer, you will find a little link where it says sell on Amazon, and then you can just click there and then you create your selling account, your business account, basically. Yeah, and then you can get it's pretty intuitive, and
Mm-hmm.
there's not that many hoops you have to jump through. One thing that I encourage everyone to really look at before they get started, though, is have a business set up. Don't do it on your personal name. Properly
Okay.
from the beginning. Depending where you're located, of course, you want to be getting some advice on what sort of business entity do you need, an LLC or whatever is going to fit you, but certainly get some sort of proper business. Because if you sell under your personal name, it's going to be difficult to really grow a business. And then later on, there are other things like liability and stuff
Right.
that you don't want to be dealing with. Yeah.
Exactly. Set up your company properly. That's a
And
good point.
yeah, have that set up right from the beginning, because Amazon only allows you to have one selling account. So if you already start with your personal account, it's sometimes difficult to transfer it to an actual business. And it takes months and months and months. So that's why before you sign up for the business account to sell on Amazon, first get the business.
Oh, that's definitely good information for listeners to know to get it right from the start, because sometimes it can be hard to change things later. So that's good. That's very good information. So, Laura, it's my understanding that you started this portion. You've been consulting for years, but you started e-commerce Boss Babes this year.
Mm-hmm.
How has that been going for you?
Actually, really, really great. I didn't expect it to grow that quickly. We have the Facebook group grew to 10,000 just, I think, last week or the week before. So it's been in 5-6 months, has grown a lot.
That's fantastic.
Beautiful,
Congratulations.
really. Thank you. No, it's been really beautiful, overwhelming in a positive way. Yeah. And I started different groups and going through them with them. And we have now the first ladies launching their products. And that's really exciting too. I've been enjoying this.
That's good. What has been one of your biggest challenges, though? I know it's what you're 5 or 6 months in. What has been one of the biggest challenges you've had so far?
Time management has been really challenging because managing a group is really time consuming. I had one day where I had 1,000 requests to get into the group, and just to let everyone in, that takes hours and hours and hours. So I was a bit overwhelmed with that. So I got some help. I got a team together that is now helping me with the group. But yeah, that was a bit unexpected, and I didn't know how to how to do that.
How to handle that? Wow, but that's great though. And so with those requests, they're filling out the little questionnaire to make sure they kind of fit into the group, and you're giving them the okay to be in there. Wow, 1,000 in a day. That's fantastic. But yeah, that could be overwhelming.
Mhm.
A good overwhelm.
Yeah, it's like this moment where you're like, oh my God, this is so exciting, and oh my God, I can't believe it. And then the next second you realize, oh my God, how am I going to do this now?
That is the entrepreneurial journey right there, Laura, for
Yeah.
sure, right? Trying to figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
How do you find that your clients or your customers find those profitable products? How do you recommend that they do that?
I recommend them to really niche down, and that's so, so important. Amazon has such a massive amount of products. I mean, I think it's 1 billion products. And when people get started, they often want to go for the big categories. They want to be selling those big protein powders, or those like the fitness bands, resistant bands, and things like that. That, yeah, they have like $1 million monthly revenue, and that's awesome. But
Mhm.
that's not where we want to get started. We want to get started with the smaller products. We want to be looking for those 10K gems, little golden gems that we will find in between those big categories. So we want to really niche down into little pockets in Amazon, and there are like plenty. I mean, when people say it's saturated, nothing is saturated there. There's so many little pockets, just smaller markets, smaller groups of people that have a specific interest, like, for example, knitting, like knitting a specific yarn, knitting with specific little tools. There are always smaller groups, and it might just be 5,000 people, 6,000 people a month searching for it. That's more than enough. You don't really need those 100,000 searches. it's better if you have the smaller searches really to get started. Otherwise, you need to get started with a much higher inventory or capital if you want to be going for these massive products. And you have really fierce competition. If you go for the smaller pockets, you can really start comfortably with a few $1,000s. You grow steadily, you can reinvest your profits without exploding and having issues with cash flow and other things that people often underestimate because they think, oh, but it might be better if I have a 50K product right from the beginning. Yeah, but for a 50K product, you need some investment because the products, you're not going to get that for free. You need to sort of buy that, right? And to be able
Right.
to sell it. So that's something that people seem to still sometimes miss. And when I see people that get started selling on Amazon, oftentimes without any guidance, it happens that they start selling or try to start selling products that are very competitive, and then they don't get to really sell the product because they don't rank. And as a buyer, you most likely are not going to be buying your product off page number 4 or 5. You buy it from page number 1, maybe page number 2, but most likely only page number 1. So
Yeah.
you need to be able to get on page number 1. And for that, you need a niche that is not competitive.
Gotcha. So, a couple of questions with that.
Mhm.
One, is it possible to build your brand on Amazon? Because I must say, I don't really pay attention to like where stuff is coming from, like that company. How can someone build their brand on Amazon?
Yeah, you can build like a range of different products within a brand. I have to say though, as a buyer, you might notice after you've realized that many of those brands that sell on Amazon are often Amazon exclusive brands. Many are just private label brands started by maybe just someone in their garage. Many products actually are owned by solopreneurs. People don't realize that often when they buy on Amazon that it's many small businesses that are selling that. I think last year alone it's been 160,000 businesses that have gotten to 6 figures. Those are the ones that just gotten to 6 figures just last year. And most of them just, couples, people alone getting started, which I find
Right.
very beautiful. I love that. So yeah, many of those have built their brands, and you can have like a brand store and so on Amazon, and then branch out into different products that complement the brand. And you can have multiple brands too. You
Hmm.
can say, oh, I like eco-friendly products. I'm going to have a brand that's going to be like, I don't know, Mother Earth, na. And then you could also have like, oh, I like baby products. I'm going to be selling there's something too. So you have multiple brands in your selling account. There's no issue with that either. So
No
there,
limit. Wow, that's fantastic. I'm learning so much today. Like I'm thinking, oh, I need stuff on Amazon. Gosh, that's amazing. Okay, and I had some more questions. So now I've got to think of my other questions. So much stuff popped in my head as you were saying stuff, and I tried to make little notes. Okay, so let's say I'm selling on Amazon and I have my brand, I have my products. What type of revenue am I making as a seller on Amazon versus the amount that's going to Amazon?
good question. Okay, so depending on your category, you're going to be paying between 7 to 15%, roughly. An average is going to be 15%. That's like a commission that you pay Amazon for having the buyer and for having the platform and everything. Then there is another program that is called FBA, which is the special part about selling on Amazon that I somehow forgot to mention so far. They do fulfill for the sellers. So they have the warehousing, everything. So as a seller, you can have all your goods transferred to Amazon, and then they are going to take care of shipping it to the customer, taking care of returns, taking care of customer care. For those that have done it themselves, it's really challenging to do that, and you become a slave to your business. And in that case, Amazon is going to take care of that. And the cost depends, of course, on the sizing of your product, on the weight of your product, but it is really, really, I mean, the rates are really good. Yeah. So, yeah, that would be something extra you would be paying shipping fees to your.
Right. Can you tell of course, I know you're focused on the boss babes here, but the podcast kind of speaks to men and women. But can you tell people how to reach you? Also, if there's just any additional information that you think is important for people to know as they look at Amazon or look at e-commerce, can you just share that with the listeners as well?
Something that I would like to share, I would say, like with many things that we want to get started in life, in business, and on a personal side or on a business side, it's just the getting started is often the most difficult part, to jump over that hoop and say, okay, I'm just going to do it. And I would encourage people to give it a try and let them be surprised by what can come out of it. And over the last few years, I've seen so many success stories. And when I got started in 2015, people were saying, oh no, you can't sell on Amazon anymore. It's oversaturated. No new products. And yeah, I think Amazon has since then tripled or quadrupled.
Wow.
So there's no time where it's too late. So if you want to get started, do it now. It's not going to be too late. And yeah, to reach out to me, the simplest way would be through LinkedIn, Laura Buhl. So yeah, I of course also support men as well. It's just that the e-commerce boss babes is for women, the group, but I still do consultancy with male clients as a woman. So yeah, I don't discriminate there. Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, you guys, you can contact Laura. I think she has a wealth of knowledge that we all can use to start a side hustle or grow the business we're already in. But we need to all contact Laura to find out more and to get some help and to just get started. Like you pointed out, getting started is the hardest part. But then once you get going, you're on a roll. What are your plans for the next 6 months? We're going into 2021 faster than I can believe. But what are your plans for the next 6 months for your group and for your business?
My plan for the next 6 months is I'm launching a YouTube channel where I'm going to have tutorials there. That's something very exciting. And other than that, we're doing a challenge where we are going to get product ideas. So going 30 days through the process of finding your first winning product. That's something that we're going to be doing by the end of this year. So yeah, that's really exciting. And then let's see. I mean, last 6 months I haven't expected what had happened. Sorry, I got a bit mixed up. So yeah, let's see what the next 6 months are going to bring.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting, though, especially the challenge. Do you know the name of your YouTube channel yet?
It's going to be e-commerce boss babes.
Okay. So we'll have to look out for that.
Yeah, bit nervous about it.
Why are you
And
nervous?
I was never comfortable in front of a camera. And I started recording videos in the last few months, more and more and more. And I'm getting not comfortable, but familiar, I would say. And I've always wanted to have a YouTube channel, but I kind of never dared to do it. I was a bit shy about it because I'd felt like exposing myself so much to the public. In the group, it felt like, oh, I'm just with my group, even though the group really got big. Now I feel like, oh, wow, I'm going to truly go out there. So, yeah, it's like, what are my ex-colleagues going to say and so on.
They're going to say she's fabulous. I tell you, I'm excited for the women who are in your group.
I'm so excited too. Like this current group I have there too. I have 2 single mothers in there as well that are super committed. And oh yeah, I'm so excited about when we are all launching, because I always launch a product with my groups, walking my talk with them. And
That's fantastic. How many people do you have in your group?
10, yeah, small
10.
group.
Oh, that is fantastic. I just love that. Well, please share the podcast with them. I don't know if it'll help them or not, but truly my goal is to help people, just the things that I didn't grow up with an entrepreneurial family. I didn't have that kind of, person in my ear saying, "Oh, make sure you do this, make sure you do that." So that's what this podcast is about. And so if they can learn, if you think they can learn anything from it, please share it with them. I want them to be successful. Yay. So excited.
Oh, for sure. Especially in the big group. I think I'm going to be sharing that day as well. They're going to love it, especially as people are getting started. That motivation, that hearing someone that believes, even though you don't know the person, but knowing that someone is going to believe in you has already a big impact in hearing from
For
stories,
sure.
how other
Yeah,
people have gone through things. Yeah,
exactly. And
very cool.
we all have bumps in the road, but that's what, if we have a good group around us, we can get over that. You can have someone to help you share experiences and tell you how they got over it. And it may not be the exact same answer, but it might help you.
Yeah.
So,
And it helps alone knowing that it's not as perfect as it sometimes seems with other people. Like everyone is going through similar struggles, like the self-doubt, like, oh my God, am I good enough? So on. Am I doing the right thing? Is this going to work? And so on. Everyone is having the same thoughts. And it's good to sometimes hear that and know, like, yeah, I'm good.
that is very true. That's very true, because so many times we see people from their beginning, but you don't see their entire journey. You kind of see where they are, not at the end, but you know what I mean, where they are now. You're like, oh, they had such an easy time getting there, but there were definitely curveballs thrown and things that happened, and the self-doubt, like you said. That's a very good point. Laura, this has been a great conversation. I'm going to have to talk to you again.
I would love that. Yes.
Well, thank you for taking the time. I'm going to let you run. I know it's late in Germany, but thank you so, so much for your time. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. I do too. Thank you so much for having me.
The 2 points that Laura made that stood out the most to me was first being that Amazon makes up 50% of e-commerce. That is a huge number. It's almost baffling. The second is the fact that Amazon is a search engine. And when I think about when I'm shopping, if I'm looking for a particular good, I do not go to Google. I don't go to Bing. I go directly to Amazon to look it up. Unless I'm shopping at a very specific store. If I know I'm looking for shoes, I may go to DSW or something like that, or Zappos. But I am not going to just Google to look up a product that I'm shopping for. I'm typically going to Amazon. So thinking about Amazon as a search engine is just never something I've actually consciously thought about before, but that is exactly how I use it. I am so thankful to Laura for joining and sharing with us on the podcast. I hope you have found her information useful for your business. For Laura's contact info and for more information about e-commerce boss babes, please see the show notes. I recently published an ebook entitled The 10 Secrets to Small Business Success in 2021. Secret number 5 is to sell a product or multiple products on Amazon. I don't know about you, but here in Atlanta, I see more and more Amazon 18-wheelers and small vans displaying the bluish-gray background and white A to Z smile on the roadway. Amazon is growing and is poised to set record numbers this year. The ebook has 10 secrets, so go visit stitchedforsuccess.com and download your free copy today. All 10 secrets will be of great value to your business in the upcoming year. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the podcast today. I'm so grateful for you. Just a few reminders. Please share the podcast with a friend and subscribe to the podcast. Would love if you could write a review on Apple's iTunes. And also, don't forget to go download the ebook. And last but not least, there is a Stitch for Success Facebook group that is waiting for you. So please join the group where we have conversations about business, and it gives us an opportunity to get to know each other better. Thanks so much again for listening. Have a great one.